You gotta turn that off.
When the ladies at church said, "You're so active, and why are you active? Is there ever hit you?" She said,
Oh,
she
we're live.
said, "He's still alive."
Oh.
Really into that?
Okay,
We are live. We are live. We are live.
I want to call the July 9th meeting of the Richmond Parks and Recreation Board to order. The mission of the Richmond Parks and Recreation Department provides for the positive development and well-being of the Richmond community through the provision of parks, greenways, trails, and recreational programming and facilities while working in cooperation with other service providers and partners in the community to maximize all available resources. I need a motion to approve, to amend the agenda to include contracts 89-2020 and 90-2020 under the contracts for Art is Everywhere project.
So moved.
Your second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need approval of the minutes of the June 11th meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Your second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Superintendent's presentation.
Well, we're having technical difficulties just right now, and so not sure I can wait till Kate gets back here so I can go through my report. Thank you. All right, so here is the report. I've shared my screen up here, and this is where we've been working to pressure wash some of the playground equipment, so I wanted to fill you in on a picture of that. There's some pictures that didn't kind of transfer over from this platform, but the floral division's been really busy working on the aspects of our park system, and Highland Lake Golf Course was definitely one of those areas, and you can see the entrance, how beautiful that is. I wanted to kind of bring your attention to the lush fairways here. There's feedback now when I unmute. Is that better? Okay, so I wanted to show you on the left-hand picture here, some of the riprap that was put in for drainage needs. And then also in the middle picture there are the lush fairways. I just wanted to get you a close-up picture here because it's absolutely gorgeous out there. If you haven't been out to Highland, I would suggest you go. Wes is with us on Zoom right now, but they've been working really hard, Danny and the entire team out there, and he would love to take you on a tour anytime you'd want to go. This is Danny over here on the left. I'm not sure how many people have actually met Danny, but I wanted to just really hone in on his efforts here. The top picture is what it looked like this Wednesday, and the bottom picture is what it looked like when we had the damage done at the golf course. So that is a huge accomplishment in a matter of time, and Danny's really worked really hard there, and so we're just really thankful and appreciative of how we've been able to come back even from that kind of vandalism. The center city efforts, if you drove down Main Street, you will notice a dramatic difference. The pots are gorgeous, and they've been working really hard to keep those going. They've been working on the city building this week, and I'm sure you noticed some things coming in here, but really working on efforts to get some mulch down and get the poison ivy out. And they've been spraying that on a regular basis, just trying to get it under control so we can have at least 7th to 10th under wraps until the phase 2 comes through for the loop. I wanted to show you a new addition to the Veterans Memorial Park. This is the new entrance. We were able to bring these custom canyons down from Howe Indiana Military Academy. We'll also be working, as you know, you did a resolution for this, to bring the cannons and the mortar and also the tank. The tank is scheduled to hopefully arrive on the 20th, providing we have all of the necessary information all figured out with the Military Academy. But we're ready to go. Our end is secured and ready. And so this tank there's already a platform set for it.
And we're working diligently on this, but what an entrance here, and we're really excited to have that. This is one of the first of many art in our park efforts, and this is at the Richmond Senior Center by Mandy Ford. And so that's really a cool addition to the gymnasium, and we're really excited about bringing art into our park. You'll learn more, a little bit more about that in a little bit. Wanted to talk to you about the band shell. We've been working really hard here at the band shell. You'll notice that on Jim's report as well. But we had to take down the graffiti mural, even though that was something that we really loved being up there, but we had to take it down due to some the nature and wear that it had on it. But we got everything painted here, and we've redone we've fixed the roof and redone the inside. We've had a lot of dance studios needing to use this space, and it's also been a nice space to be able to spread out and social distance. So there's a lot of people that have been inquiring here. It's $300 per day, but we'll work with any nonprofit trying to make sure that they can get their events done for this time in this pandemic. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I'm sure you see if you come into parks. You'll see that we have an ongoing effort of painting picnic tables because people graffiti them every single day in our shelters. And Megan has really been working hard, even as a pregnant mama, trying to get all of our picnic tables painted, all the shelters, graffiti taken care of. And this has been a huge undertaking, but one that's been needed for quite some time. So we're really thankful that that's being done. We can kind of see the before and after there. We have 3 wonderful interns. We call them superstars. They're from various areas. Molly is joining us now on Zoom, but we've got Selena pictured first, Phoebe, and then Molly. They're all wonderful additions to our department and really helping with different kinds of projects that we have, and we're really appreciative of them. And we took a huge tour on Tuesday, and they were able to see all kinds of things that the park offers, some things that they had never seen. Molly, pictured last, is from Virginia. Phoebe's from close in Ohio, and then Selena's from North Carolina. So to be able to show them, you know, the swinging bridge and some of those things was really fun. So we had a good time. I also wanted to show kind of that striking picture of Mac Shack. Down below, we had a wonderful wedding put on there where they got married on the deck, and then they had seats on the bottom drive, and it was really cool to drive by and witness this. That this is exactly what the goal was when we started landscaping and redoing some of our facilities, was to make them worthy of rentals like this. And so to see it happening before our eyes and really seeing what it's creating and the revenue it's generating is wonderful. The Star Park project, I wanted to give you an update on what we did here on that change order you approved last park board. You can see that we were able to do the sidewalk there and the steps going up, and that is a wonderful ADA compliant addition there. And then of course there is a ramp that goes up on the other side. So this is all safe now to step up to the entry to the park, and aesthetically pleasing as well. McBride Stadium, we've been doing a lot of work here since we haven't had a whole lot of users. It's kind of ramped up in the last couple weeks, where IHSA has allowed some practices. So Richmond High School and Seton are both practicing now. They can have 10 practices until school starts. So they're working on that. We've been working with them on getting their batting cages back up in order and better than they ever have been. We've been taking down some dilapidated buildings there, which has been needed for a while. So we've been able to take those down without having people in the stadium. And then we just were excited to have play in there the other day. So I took some pictures, and that's on the bottom. We are also having tournaments requested here, which is great because of course we didn't get the revenue from RHS Seton and the Jazz this year. So many people are looking to us to be able to come here, social distance in our stadium, and be able to provide their tournaments they can't necessarily provide in their locations. And I can answer any questions or issues or concerns that you might have.
Is the senior center open for everybody now?
No, it is not. Since the governor only went to 4.5 on his fast track plan, we've been staying along those lines with him. And so we are waiting until stage 5. We always were going to wait till stage 5 to open the center. So that won't be done until now. Our date that we'll reevaluate is the 17th for opening on the 20th. Great question.
Any other questions? Jim's report. You gonna get Jim's report?
Yeah. Jim, if you'll mute.
Jim.
your
Oh, Jim's there, okay. Excuse me, Jim.
He's muted. Host is on.
Hang on, Jim.
No, I can't. I can't mute.
Try again. Okay, sorry about that. The technical crew has been very busy. They remodeled the band shell restrooms. They fixed irrigation at McBride, finished replacing the wood on the bleachers at McBride. And like Denise said, they reworked the batting cages there and replaced several playground pieces that were broken at Glen Miller and Springwood. Grounds crew has been very busy mowing our 19 parks. The grass is starting to slow down now with the heat, which is good. Give them a little break, but still have a lot to take care of. Our mechanic, he's been doing a nice job keeping things up and running, fighting the getting parts in with the COVID-19. Things are on back order and replenished from the warehouses. So we're waiting on a few parts to get a couple pieces of equipment up and going. Middle Fork Reservoirs doing well. We have 11 dock slips rented so far. We're still waiting on the boat fleet to come in. Once again, we've had to change that order a couple of times due to the COVID-19, with supplies being replenished and eliminated from warehouses. So hopefully we'll get that up and going yet this summer. And was able to land a few tournaments in McBride Stadium. Two groups from Ohio came over to play. Best of Ohio baseball played on June 25th, 26th, 27th of this year, and followed by the Dayton Classics, who just finished up a tournament on July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And they're going to come back once again on July the 30th and 31st and August 1st and 2nd. And like Denise said, with the IHSA allowing spring sports to have some practices, Richmond and Seton practicing there in McBride the month here of July. Any questions?
Any questions for Jim? No?
Okay.
Okay, Sheila.
Hello. Well, once again, I have to apologize. We do not have a report for you to review. You will receive that next week. We've been back in the office full-time a couple of weeks now. And Snap, the software that golf course uses, switched their credit card processor to Heartland. And we were unable to get any reports. We just got access this week to start running the reports to do our reconciliation, which put us behind, which put finance behind in getting to enter our revenues. I do have some numbers to give you, but you will get your report next week. And again, I apologize. I'm as frustrated as you are. We did receive our first installment of property tax of $998,617.29. We also received excise tax and our financial institution tax. Excise tax was $63,028.45. Financial institution tax of $18,271.53. I also would like to report McBride receipts. We have receipted in $1,740 in field rental for people using the facility. And my understanding is there's a lot more interest, and we should be generating some nice revenues from McBride, which is a good thing. To date, we have spent around $2,000 on our PPE. That'll be a continuing thing in buying these supplies. The senior center is currently still closed, not a lot of revenue to report there. Highland Lake had a fantastic June. Their revenues, $69,909.75, with their expenses of $77,888. However, they did receive $81,033 for their trade-in on the card. Yamaha sent our check. So they should finish the month around $15,000 positive, which is great. And that's really all I have to report today. Do you have any questions?
How did the tax receipts that we got compare to what we had on budget? Or what our planning number was?
I'm sorry, Mike, I didn't hear you.
How did the three taxes that we received, how did they compare to what we had planned on for the budget? You know?
I can answer that. I can answer that, Sheila.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I can answer it. He's asking what our comparisons were to what we had budgeted for tax allocation and what we received. So I can answer that a little bit.
What you do?
It's all new to everybody, isn't it? So in comparison to what we had budgeted, we're not there yet. But this is just our first installment.
This is the installment, yes.
And so we're just waiting on that second installment. They are even saying that it might be even 2021. Am I right, Tracy? So we just gotta kind of roll with it and see when that is actually gonna happen. I don't know necessarily how it's gonna affect budget time, but I meet with the mayor on the 21st to go over our budget. So I'll know a little bit more at that point. Do you have anything to add, Tracy? Okay. We're good.
Okay.
Is that anybody, any other questions for Sheila? Okay, thanks, Sheila.
Thank you.
Amanda.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, unfortunately, my only thing to report is that we're not open yet at the senior center. We are all ready to go though. We were ready to go on the 6th. We got all the signage hung up. We've got stickers on the floor that remind the members to try to stay 6 feet away from each other. We've closed the water fountain, different things like that. We have a lot of hand sanitizer around the building. And so now we're just waiting for stage 5. So we plan on opening on the 20th and we hope we can move forward with that.
Any other questions for Amanda? Thanks. We're looking for a successful opening then. Caleb.
Howdy, folks. Everyone hear me all right?
Yep.
All right. So farmers market is up and booming. Things have been great these past few weeks. And I am really thrilled with how things are going overall, all things considered. So we don't have the most recent vendor numbers inputted yet, but after the 20th, when we moved to having all of our vendors back, we did see it shoot up. So we're seeing between 30 and 40 vendors a market now at this point. Our SNAP program has continued to go really, really well, especially with the addition of the pandemic EBT. Just this past weekend on the 4th, we had almost $2,000 in SNAP redeemed. So that was really exciting for us, and that's been going really well. Vendor sales, surprisingly, are actually pretty on track. I'm hearing anecdotally from a lot of vendors that even though they are seeing less customers, the customers that they are seeing are buying more. So it's kind of evening out that way. And then we've been selling some masks and gloves and other PPE. And so that's been a nice little addition to our merchandise revenue. The online farmers market is continuing to go well. It's slowed down a little bit as the state has started to reopen. However, we are still continuing to go up. We have 236 customers that are signed up, and just about each of them has made at least one order because we've had 235 orders made about $5,000 total through that system. So that's pretty great for us. And then I've just been staying busy mostly with managing the market and helping get the other events for the Parks Department back up and running as we can. Been working on updating the recreation guide continuously for digital publication so that can remain a resource for the community. Representing the parks and the farmers market to various groups. And then very excitingly, we did receive a grant from the United Way's COVID-19 Relief Fund. And that was in the amount of $10,000 to help us cover lost sponsorship revenue for the market. So super exciting. That won't reflect on this month's financials, but it will coming up soon. And that's going to be a really great little bolster for us. And we applied specifically saying we didn't want to, it didn't feel right to be taking, to be asking businesses for sponsorship dollars right now when so many of them are struggling. So being able to utilize that fund with the United Way is really, really great. So we received a $3,000 sponsorship from the Richmond Urban Enterprise Association, which is something they've done a sponsorship of some level with us for the past few years now. So that's been great. And then doing a lot of outreach, and we just started this past Tuesday and Wednesday, our Tuesday Twilight Markets and the Eat Local Wednesday events. So those have been good to kind of provide a safe entertainment opportunity for the community and be able to have another outlet for our farmers market vendors as well. So I'm pleased to have those back. And then finally, during this past month, I worked with the floral division, and our intern Molly, who I'll introduce in a second, worked with me to apply for a USDA community compost and food waste reduction grant with the floral division. So that was a grant to help us purchase some equipment for doing some composting of city waste streams to provide soil and help with some cost reductions for the floral division. So it was fun. I've never gotten to do a federal grant before, so I got to get all excited and work through all of those hoops. So anyways, I'm going to really quickly, Molly, if you want to hop on with your video and audio for a second and just introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do.
Hi everyone, I'm Molly. I'm from Leesburg, Virginia, and I go to the University of Virginia where I'll be a senior next year. And I study environmental science and global environments and sustainability. And I'm excited to be working here this summer in Richmond as a local food access intern with the farmers market and the Parks Department. And my main job recently has been to make guides for vendors to set up their online markets and then also to improve their markets to try to get more sales.
Yeah, so Molly's been doing a great job. She also did a killer amount of work on the USDA grant in her first week. So I kind of threw her in to that, but thank you, Molly. We appreciate you being here. Other than that, we have 36 season pass vendors currently for the summer market, 24 daily pass vendors who are signed up. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that any of you might have.
Any questions for Caleb?
Caleb, what are the current restrictions on the market vendors for the current opening stage? Do you have everybody back? I think I missed that part.
We do, yeah, but with a lot of restrictions in place. All of the vendors are currently being required to wear masks when they're at the market, and I'm getting to lay down the law on that. And we have all of our vendors spaced 10 feet apart. Those are kind of the two biggest things that we've done. But also we have some like PSA style reminders that we play over the speakers to help remind people. And the other big thing is that we have all of the vendors either putting up a rope or an extra table or something in front of their booth so that there is 6 feet of distance between the vendor and the customer, and that also so that no customer is allowed to touch any product until it's been purchased. So that helps with potential contamination and things like that. So that's been a big help for us, is doing kind of those three big things to help keep everyone safe.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I was happy to see the great deals coming to Dale this week.
Great Deals magazine.
Yeah, we've had 2 months now in the Great Deals magazine with advertising for the market vendors. And we were able to get a great partnership worked out with them and be able to kind of provide some direct marketing to our vendors in a way we hadn't done before. So, you know, in the past we've done billboards and things like that, but we decided to kind of try out something new and kind of get in people's mailboxes.
Any other questions, comments? Thanks, Caleb.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Keith. Is Keith there? There you go.
Hello. How's everyone doing? We are, let's see, softball, we're full swing in softball. We're about just about halfway through the season now. Tournament should start up here in August. And so far we haven't had any rain that's caused us to delay our season, which is nice, even though we've had a few scary storms come through. Walking club's been great so far. We had over 80 people that first night. And then torrential downpour on everyone. But people came back and we had a good another 50, 60 people the next week as well. And so we've had, I think, over 100 individuals total, different people coming in each day. We're going again tonight. The weather should hold out. The storm looks like it's moving farther and farther away, so it shouldn't come till later tonight, even though it's a little warm. So bring some water, but it should be a good night for a walk. Wayne County Challenge, we've been going pretty strong. We did our first virtual 5K the end of the last month, and we had over 100 participants, which was really good to see for our first one. And Girls Inc. is looking to get their 5K going on July 25th at Middle Fork. You can still register for that. We're trying to get it going and get people through the start and finish line with as much social distancing as possible. So it should be a good test to see if we can do it. We can go to wchallenges.org for more information on those. Next month already comes up doing movies in the Glen again. We're starting up with Frozen 2, and every Saturday night we're going to have our movies back. So it should be a good time to come out. Movies usually start between 9 and 10 o'clock, depending on when dusk is. Depends on when that actually starts. But we have some good movies lined up, and it should be a good time. As well as that, we've got Amanda's Joy Games coming up. We got Party at the Pond, Halloween Howl, and the Veterans Parade all kind of on the docket to start getting going and make sure we're planned and ready for whatever we got to do. That's all I got.
Any questions for Keith?
Yeah, for the movie nights, are there gonna be any restrictions just like there are at the farmer's market?
What was that about the movie nights?
Are there going to be any restrictions like there are at the farmer's market?
So far, we don't have any major restrictions. Obviously social distancing, things like that, but we have all of the hill at Glen to hopefully be able to keep people apart while still being able to see and hear the movie.
Okay. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you.
Wes.
Hello, everybody. I'm getting feedback. Denise did a nice job of showing the golf course. It is in really great shape. And Sheila gave you the numbers. One thing I would like to add is in June last year, we did 49,000. And this year we did 69. So that being said, we're really hopping out here at Highland. And just to kind of give you an idea of on our day-to-day basis, we'll say most of our golf outings that pre-booked last year have canceled due to the COVID, but we're starting to pick up replacements for those. Mondays, we have a senior league that grew from 12 people to 28. That's on every Monday morning, and then women's league in the evening. Tuesday, we have the Color Box League plus regular play. Wednesday, we got the American Legion League, which lasts all day. Thursday, we have the women's 18 holers in the morning, and then a men's league in the evening. And then Friday, we kick it up again with the seniors in the morning, which is about 24 to 28 players. And Saturday and Sundays have been very steady. Even with the heat, Most people are getting out early at 6:45, sometimes 6:30 in the morning. So we start early to beat the heat. We'll have almost 80 to over 100 players before 12 o'clock. So it's a good thing we got the new carts, because the old carts that we had last year, all the wheels would be off by now. So everybody's enjoying the new golf carts, state of the art, with the USB ports. Everybody's using it for their phones, speakers. Plus they just look fantastic. And I don't know if you realize this, but several golf courses in Dayton, Ohio closed, the municipalities. So we are really the only municipal golf course in a 100-mile radius. And a lot of people are starting to come here from elsewhere. And it's a good thing we do have T-Snap, because our members and our guests are understanding they have to make tee times to be able to play. And they're all doing it. And those tee times also helps with the social distancing. And I know who's coming now. I just don't have a whole bunch of people at once, which is really good. And as far as the clubhouse, we opened up on June 14th, even though we have events, a lot of play. Our guests are pretty smart. They don't hang out inside. They usually stay outside. We have a little sitting area over there, and that's been really good for us. And as far as sanitization, we're doing that on a daily basis. Every time a cart comes in, we have an apparatus that shoots water and chlorine, and we drench down the cart, the seats, the steering wheel, and everything to keep germs. And also it helps me clean the cart, because I have Coke syrup and beer syrup everywhere. So the chlorine's helping me out there too. Other than that, I would like to thank Phoebe, our intern, has been helping me out with her social media. She's really kickstarted up her Instagram and helps us with Facebook. So I'd really like to thank her on that. Not only all the things I said we're doing every day, but now we're going to start with the high schools. You got National Trail, Northeastern, and Centerville. They're going to start doing their practicing. They're going to have to make tee times, and I'm organizing where they're going to practice. I have 3 practice stations now to where they use the driving range, the putting green, or the chipping areas. Actually, I have 4 now, and they'll implement and rotate gradually each day of where they're going to go. So I kind of keep them separated. So just like everyone else, it's a hard task, especially when you're dealing with a lot of people at once. But we're all getting it done. And even though that we were closed crucially in May for a couple of weeks, I feel at this point in time that we're going to beat our numbers by the end of November. Again, this place has not been as busy than it ever has, and the course hasn't looked any better than it ever has. So we really got a lot of good things to be proud of out here. So if there's any questions.
Any questions for Wes? Don't hear any. Thanks, Wes.
Thank you very much.
Board concerns and comments. Happy folder.
I don't have anything at this time.
Old business, park comprehensive master plan.
I just wanted to remind our community and remind Park Board, if you have not taken this quick, simple 2-question survey, it will help us get to the next level in our park master plan. It's due on the 20th of July, and it's very quick. And if you could please help us, that would be great. I think we've reached over 700 surveys so far. Our goal was to do half of what we received in our first survey, which was over 1,700. So we're right there, we're getting there. So that survey is crucial as we go forward to see exactly where those improvements should be, and appreciate the community support now.
Okay, new business, approval to decommission the picnic table.
Jim's going to talk on that.
Okay. The department is requesting the approval from the board to decommission an old picnic table that was located north of Don's Cabin here in Glen Miller Park, as we will be doing more in hopes of replacing some of the old tables with new ones.
Okay, do I hear a motion to decommission this picnic table?
So moved.
Your second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Granted.
All right, thank you.
Okay, contracts for Artists Everywhere project.
Yeah, so I'll go through those. I spoke last month about our partnership with the Quick Impact Place-Based Grant through Okra, and that is the Art is Everywhere project. There will be different art coming into different aspects of Center City and the Parks Department. This first one that I'll share with you is with Mandy Ford, an artist in town. And this is not to exceed $6,500. All of these funds will be paid through the grant and the matching donations that came through. And the areas that Mandy will be working her magic for her art will be the dog park. She will be setting up a selfie area for dogs, painted on the brick building next adjacent to the dog park. Additionally, she'll work through a potential wing mural downtown in Center City. We're working with UEA to try to figure out the best place for that. And then the one at the senior center that she already started on, she wanted to do that before we opened, so she went forward with that. And additionally, she will be working on a mural at the rec storage building beside the tennis courts. And that will be an inspirational message as you move forward and you kind of traverse down the road. So that is Mandy Ford, artist, and a contract number 89-2020.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve contract number 89-2020.
Make a motion to approve contract 89-2020.
Here a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, and then contract 90-2020 is for Pamela Frazier, who's an artist in town. She helped with some of the graphics for the music garden, the RSO music garden that we have in Glenmillan Park. One of our focal points was to try and make a music note path from the playground to have kids follow that down to the piano crosswalk and then to the music garden. So she'll be helping with that effort on the ground there. She'll also be working on some transformer boxes to make those that have been graffitied something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So she'll be working on some of those in Glen Miller, and then she'll also be working on a potential crosswalk in the middle of Center City from Elstro over to the library, pending approval from Board of Works and Donna Benedict. So this contract is not to exceed $10,000 for her work. And we've already met with RP&L on the transformer boxes. And we're working with a representative from UVA to determine some other things on the transformer box that is over at Elstro. So, fun stuff.
Entertain a motion to approve contract 90-2020.
Make a motion to approve contract 90-2020.
Here a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any other business?
I just wanted to make you aware of another contract that doesn't require approval as it's under $5,000. However, we are also contracting with BE Creations to do a wood carving at Glenmillan Park right outside the office. And that was $2,000, and that's part of the project as well. So that's going to be an exciting little addition to our wood carvings at Glenmillan. I just wanted to make the board aware of that.
Other business? Entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
There a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.